St. Mary's and Its People by Hannah Worsley. This is George Calvert and his two sons, Cecil and Leonard, and his eldest son's son. They are the first, second, and third Lords Baltimore. Leonard Calvert is not a Lord Baltimore because he was the youngest. George Calvert got a grant from the king to build St. Mary's, but he never got there, and neither did Cecil, because they had families to attend to back in England. I chose to do my project on the Lords Baltimore because they are my ancestors. Benedict, Charles, and Frederick Calvert were the last Lords Baltimore because the American Revolution came afterwards and there were no more lords. Benedict Calvert is the one that I am directly descended from. Caroline Maria Calvert, which is Benedict's granddaughter, married a Morris, Thomas Willing Morris, who then their granddaughter married a Cheston. And that is how I'm related. Charles Seal Cheston comes after Eugenia Morris. Then Cornelia Cheston, who is my grandmother, then my mother, Charlotte, and then me. This is Cecil Calvert. He was the first proprietary of Maryland, which means he was given the right to govern the colony by the crown and made all the laws, but he didn't get to go. This is Leonard Calvert. He actually got to go to Maryland, and he became the governor of Maryland and helped it on its way. St. Mary's is a city of firsts. St. Mary's was the first city and capital in the colony of Maryland. This city, St. Mary's, was the first Lord Baltimore's dream to make a place where Protestants and Catholics could worship God in their separate ways peacefully. His dream was granted because St. Mary's prospered. St. Mary's was founded in the year 1634 and was named after the Queen of England. The people who came to St. Mary's were people who wanted to practice religion freely. Catholics could not practice their religion in England, so they went to St. Mary's. St. Mary's was the first colony that let its inhabitants practice any religion they pleased. St. Mary's had a church that was built for practicing all kinds of Christianity. The priest of St. Mary's was Father White. The economy in St. Mary's was tobacco and trading with Native Americans. In St. Mary's, if colonists needed to pay a debt, they would pay it in tobacco. A lot of people in St. Mary's owned tobacco farms. Cecil tried to make everyone pay in coins, but it didn't work because he wasn't allowed to make them. The people in St. Mary's also traded with the Native Americans. For example, they gave the Native Americans guns for beads and food. Margaret Brent was a strong woman who helped lead St. Mary's. Margaret Brent came to St. Mary's in November 22, 1638, with two brothers and a sister. Once Margaret Brent came, she became a successful businesswoman and often filled in for her brothers. And this is the story how she repressed the right to vote.
Yes, I do. We're getting that.
Good day, my lady. May I take your wrap?
Thank you.
Since I am in charge of Lord Governor Calvert's estate, I think it would be prudent to grant me the right to vote.
Women should never have the right to vote.
I don't entirely agree with you. I believe that I should have two votes, one for my property and one for the Calvert property, because I am in charge of both.
I know that we believe that all property owners should get the right to represent themselves, but you are a woman. You shouldn't be allowed to vote.
And you very well know that I have to pay the soldiers their salaries. If I use the Calvert money, the Lord Baltimore would be angry with me. We should stay on the right side of the Lord Proprietary and tax ourselves to pay the soldiers.
It is the Lord Baltimore's responsibility to pay for things.
Very well, if you will not give me the vote and allow me to stay on the Lord Baltimore's good side, then I will do what I must to pay the soldiers.
We do support you in your actions, and we will write a letter to the Lord Baltimore, telling him that you are the only person who had the ability to take care of the situation, and that we support all of your actions.
Thank you for your kindness, but I must be getting on.
Later, Margaret Brent used up all of Governor Leonard Calvert's estate to pay the soldiers, and then even sold some of Lord Baltimore's cattle to pay the rest. The men kept their word and defended her when Cecil Calvert got mad at her for selling his property without permission.